Hello, friends, and welcome to the Virtual Strangers review of Vader Immortal by ILMX Lab for the Oculus Quest. This is a game that is highly anticipated. It just released this past week with the Oculus Quest. That being said, Roots and Alex don't have access to an Oculus Quest, so Justin and I are going to tackle this review alone. Uh, for me personally, this was the first game that I played on my Quest. It was the most anticipated game for it, being a big Star Wars fan. And I was super excited when the download finished and I could finally jump in and take part in a Star Wars story. Justin, are you a Star Wars fan from way back? Were you anticipating this as much as I was?
Yeah, I'm not a big Star Wars fan, but I'd say, pretty moderate. I mean, I see all the Star Wars movies and I know a lot of the characters and all that stuff.
Okay, so
But I was looking
so
forward
you,
to it.
yeah, but you're not a fanatic. You can come at it a little bit more level-headed than somebody like me,
Yeah.
who was just fanboy out the whole time I was in it.
Yeah.
Okay. So graphically, this is we've been debating this for days. I was taken aback immediately when I went into this thing, just because I had preconceptions about the Quest and its capabilities. And when I got into this game, I found personally that it looked a lot more. It looked better than a lot of even the PlayStation VR games, especially some of the older ones. So I was really taken aback at how crisp and clear the graphics were, and by the quality of the textures as well. What did you think about this game graphically when you got into it?
Yeah, I think it has probably the best graphics I've seen on Quest. Um, Definitely. I mean, yeah, all the textures are great, and there's dynamic lighting with your lightsaber. When you move your lightsaber around the environment, that looks great. We've talked about the foveated rendering issue. I don't know if
Yeah.
you want me to get into that or not,
Sure,
but
sure, go for it. I'll just say that what he's about to say is not just true of this game. It's more or less uh, visible in other Quest games as well. But sure, go ahead and talk about what the foveated rendering looks
yeah.
like in this game.
Yeah, so this was the first Quest game I did, and so I noticed pretty much immediately that at the very bottom I could see pixelation, pretty much anywhere I went, and I noticed it, and that's the foveated rendering, and if the scene becomes more CPU intensive, like there's a lot of stuff going on, that's when it becomes more obvious. You'll see a square of like foveated rendering that follows your head around, and it's just it's not as sharp on the edges, and that's really my only really graphical gripe. But they had to do that to try to keep the textures and the number of polygons up, basically.
Yeah, yeah, it's a developer trick, considering that basically they're developing a game for a 2-year old cell phone processor that they've got to pull some smoke and mirrors out.
Yeah.
I noticed the rendering as well, and like we've said before, I think it has a lot to do with the shape of it. I did notice that the square that you're talking about, I noticed that come in on a couple of occasions when there's a lot of things moving, a lot going on in the scene. But as far as the line at the bottom and anything on the edges, I think the only reason I saw it was because I was looking for it. I don't think if I had been just coming in like a player off the street who's not an experienced VR player and not looking for that sort of thing, I don't think it's very noticeable for probably 80 to 90% of the game.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, overall, graphically, a very, very beautiful game and shockingly well done, considering that this is a standalone VR device. Uh, Audio, in my opinion, just as impressive, if not more so. This has all of the sound effects that you would find in a Star Wars movie. Spatial audio is spot on, and people shooting blasters, they sound like blasters. When you wave around your lightsaber, it sounds like a lightsaber in your hand. And there was one scene in particular where you go outside and TIE fighters are flying by, and it gave me goosebumps. It was so realistic, and I felt so much like I was a part of a Star Wars movie that I was really, really impressed with the sound effects. What did you think about them?
Where I really noticed the spatial audio was in the lightsaber dojo, because you get surrounded 360 degrees by enemies, and sometimes the only way to know where they are is by hearing them. So like I would hear it and then turn around, and right where I thought that sound was is right where that enemy was. It was these little flying robots, the little spheres, and right before they're about to shoot you, they'll make a noise, and that's when you know, I gotta turn around so I can deflect that laser beam. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that this is something that prospective new VR gamers, people coming over from flat games, really, they don't understand the power of audio in VR. Everything's so graphics centric when you're playing on a screen. It's hard to describe to someone who's not experienced it what it's like to be able to tell where something is by hearing it. And this game, I agree, is a very much shining example of that. But the lightsaber dojo, see, I didn't click into the lightsaber dojo from the main menu. I just assumed that the lightsaber dojo was that battle that you have with the bot when you first get your lightsaber. Are you saying that there's another mode that's independent of the game that has more content
Yep.
playing with the lightsaber?
Yeah, it's independent. It's waves of different types of robot enemies, and as you progress, you unlock new stuff. Like you unlock different color lightsabers and different like hilts, and there are 3 different arenas that you can fight in the lightsaber dojo.
Oh man, that's awesome! I just assumed that was a practice thing with that bot. I didn't even click on it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's more content in this game than I even knew about.
Yeah.
And damn it, I got to go to work now. I don't get to play it. Yeah. I have to wait till I get home to check this thing out. But man, that's really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Gameplay overall, what did you think about the gameplay?
I wasn't too impressed with the gameplay mostly. It was kind of like they had me. So there's some parts where you could do free loco, but a lot of parts it would just like keep you stuck in one spot, and I don't like being stuck in one spot. I want to have freedom. But then it would like stick you in one spot and say like, all right, there's this switch you have to mess with, and then you just mess with it with your hands, and it progresses the next scene. It just kind of like felt like a lot of times like you do this little thing to trigger in the next. It kind of felt more like a movie to me, because actually you can't die in this game. I tried to die. I let as many lasers as I could hit me. I let lightsabers hit me, and you can't die. I want to be able to die. I have a cat now, on my lap, and when you get the lightsaber, you can deflect lasers and you can kill things with the lightsaber. That's cool, but once you're actually in a battle, you can't move around. You're stuck in one spot. There's no free locomotion while you're fighting. So
yeah,
that's why.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's why I'm not crazy about the gameplay.
Yeah, I agree with you as far as the restricted movement in this game. Not only in these fight scenes where you're not able to move. I mean, you can turn your body, but you can't walk around. Not only that, but as you're traveling through the corridors and things in this game, it clips out a lot. Like if your arm goes into the wall or a table or something, the whole screen goes black. And even if you're not moving your body, it'll tell you to get back in your area. And this happened repeatedly when I was playing this game. It brought me completely out of the immersiveness of it. And I agree. As far as the gameplay itself goes, I really didn't mind it so much being more of an experience. Mm-hmm. I kind of expected that coming into it. The lightsaber play was awesome. It was spot on, I feel, as far as the mechanics of waving it around and the audio visuals of it. Mm-hmm. It all felt and sounded really good. As far as the immortality deal, I didn't let anything try to kill me. I just always assumed that I could die from it. Mm-hmm. But there are story elements that we'll get to in a minute with this game that maybe explains. I mean, I know it's a stretch, and I know I'm just BSing, but there are parts of the story that might suggest that you may have some kind of immortality going on here. So While I'm sure it's just the game developers trying to make it easy on new players, you know, who knows? Maybe not. Maybe it's something that has to do with the story that we're going to find out later on. Replayable. I think I'll go back through this game maybe once or twice more. Definitely going to try the lightsaber dojo thing out that you just mentioned. How replayable do you think this game is to you?
I probably won't do the story, but like you, I'll do the lightsaber dojo more to see how far I can get. Because it got challenging. It got to a point where, yeah, they kicked my ass, and I was like, damn, I need to get back in there and try to beat that.
So you can definitely die in the lightsaber dojo.
Yes,
right?
you can. Definitely.
Yeah, I look forward to that, man. I look forward to checking that out. I wish I had clicked around a little bit more now than when I was in there the other day. Okay, so overall, this is an episodic thing. It's really quite short. I think I was in it an hour, which means most people will probably finish it in about 45 minutes. But then again, it's a $10 game with very high production value. Would you recommend this game to a new Oculus Quest owner?
Definitely, and I did. My brother got, a Quest, and this was one of the games I told him to definitely get. And he likes it a lot. Like, because there's climbing in this game. He thought the climbing was really cool, all the interactions he thought were really cool. So, yeah.
I agree. 100% must own for the Oculus Quest. To get something this high of quality for $10 is really a deal to me, despite it being only an hour. A lot of movies are not much longer than that, and this, you get to be part of a Star Wars movie. So yes, 100% a must buy, a great demo title for those of you that own an Oculus Quest but also own other VR. If you're using your Quest to show it off, this is a great quick experience to show a new player the power of VR. Okay, so with that wraps the review segment up of this video. From here on, we're going to go into a little bit more specifics with the campaign and the story. So if you don't want this game to be spoiled, you probably want to end the video here. In just a few moments, like I said, we're going to start talking about things that if you're going to pick this up, you're not going to want to hear. So if this description fits you and you're going to be buying this game pretty soon, stop the video now. Okay, spoilers coming in 3, 2, 1, and now it's on you, people. It's not on me. All right, so we open this game. We come into the story. We're on a ship with a droid, and the first part of the game is basically spent becoming familiar with your surroundings, getting used to the movement. There are a few items you can interact with on the ship, and the droid is instructing you through the whole process. Justin, what were your first impressions of the game from just a world standpoint and a story standpoint? What did you think at first?
At first, I think I was stuck in one spot in the front of the ship with the droid, and I kind of was like, I want to move. Then at some point they let you move, and I was walking around the cabin back there, like picking up some stuff, and the next thing I knew, I don't know why it happened, but the next thing I knew, I was stuck at this one spot where the droid was talking to me and wanted me to do something. Oh, that model of the ship. And I was still wanted to be over there messing with stuff, but she kind of forced me to move along, and I didn't like that.
Yeah, I went over there voluntarily after she asked me to. So you're saying that she probably asked you to and you refused, but the game forced you into the spot over there?
Either the game forced it, or I just happened to accidentally walk into the spot.
Yeah. There's a little circle. Whenever the game wants you to go somewhere, there's this little circular icon that appears on the ground. I guess it is possible that maybe you clipped that thing when you were walking by it.
Yeah.
The droid herself, who's instructing you pretty much through this whole game, what did you think about her?
the voice didn't really match the whole droid thing. Didn't really, I don't know, and it just sounded like some normal woman and not so much a droid. And I didn't really like the fact that the droid stayed with you the whole time, or almost the whole time. I kind of wanted to be alone a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think you do get some alone time later on, from what I remember.
Yeah, I agree. The role of the droid in the beginning of the game, I don't so much disagree with. It was well written and well programmed, but I agree. The voice they put on that thing, it did not sound like any Star Wars droid I've ever heard in any movie before. Didn't sound like a robot at all. Just sounded like some chick, some bar chick, you know. And that kind of took me back a little bit. Mm-hmm. But from there, we run into an Imperial destroyer who commands us to land on I forget what the name of the planet is, but it's the fire planet.
Mustafar.
Mustafar, yeah. It's the fire planet from Episode 3, where Darth Vader literally falls to pieces, or Anakin, I guess, at the time. Mm-hmm. And you're forced to land on this planet, and you come down into this big landing bay full of stormtroopers, and immediately you're interrogated. What did you think about the first part of the story there, where they're interrogating you, and you finally get to meet Lord Vader?
I'm trying to remember the interrogation. Is that when he gives you that box to open up?
Yes. Yeah, okay. That's it.
Yeah, I thought Vader looked really big, but I guess Vader's supposed to be big. But I felt short, I think, through most of the game. The whole box thing, I was like, why can't you do it? Why are you getting me to do it?
Yeah, it's like one of those Rubik's Cube deals. Oh, man, why don't you just do it? Yeah, I get you. I get what you were saying there about Vader. Mm-hmm. He did seem kind of big and definitely carried an intimidating presence, especially when you first meet him. But after you solve that box thing, they're all chummy with you. The intimidation factor goes away. Yeah. And I was surprised in the next scene when we were so eager to escape, because it didn't really seem like we were in much danger. At least I didn't feel that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess they were. If I didn't do that, they would kill me. So maybe that's the deal. They're only being nice because I'm doing what they say.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's how I felt. I felt intimidated beforehand, mm-hmm. but afterwards, I didn't feel like I should be scared anymore. So when this creature, or I guess, was it even a droid? I can't remember if it was biological or a droid. The prisoner who suggests that we all escape.
Yeah.
When he suggested we escape, I'm just like, why? Why don't we just chill here?
Yeah.
I'll join the dark side totally. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's do it, you know. But the droid you brought with you kind of pushes you through the game.
Yeah.
And I agree, at this point it would have been a good time to lose the droid. Mm-hmm. But I kind of get it, the path that they want you to go on. They don't want you to linger too much. After you escape, you come into the room, and that's when you first find the lightsaber. How cool was that when you first wielded the lightsaber?
That was really cool. Yeah, I mean, and it vibrated in your hand, you know, just like you would think a lightsaber would. So yeah, that was really cool. And I can't remember, did they have you do something with it when you first get it?
There was a training droid that had like 6 arms and a bunch of lightsabers that came at you that you had to defeat. It was kind of a little mini tutorial.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, and it shows you where to put your blade. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So that's how you learn how to fight. From there, you go through various corridors, crawling, and there are areas that you're climbing through, trying to find your way out of this place. I should mention that the person or thing that helped you escape told you that they're one of that there are natives on this planet, and one of like the religious leaders or sages or shaman are hidden down below, and that you should find them and that they'll help you out. So basically, that's the whole point of your journey is you're trying to find this shaman or whatever they called it to get help. So you're sneaking through corridors, climbing up walls and through elevator shafts and things. And at one point, you find yourself crawling through a vent next to Vader, and you're finding out. This is the part where you find out what Vader's interest in you is. Apparently, this puzzle box is some sort of a key that's going to unlock some technology, some ancient technology on this planet that's going to allow him to conquer death and bring back his love from the episode 1 and 2 in the Star Wars. What do you think overall about this premise and this story of the game?
It reminds me of The Void, Shadows of the Empire, I think it was called. I think this story continues off of that or something. But there was a powerful weapon on Mustafar in that one that Vader was trying to get. So it must be a connection to that. And the powerful weapon was some sort of lightsaber sword, mystical lightsaber sword thing that looked more like a sword instead of a lightsaber. I don't remember. Was there any mention of that?
I didn't notice it, but something I'll look for definitely on a subsequent playthrough. But I think you're right. I think this is probably, they were both developed by ILMX Labs, so it probably does have some kind of loose connection story-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so from there, you managed to make it by Vader somehow. I guess he's distracted by the big glowing stone thing he was staring at. And you have a little stormtrooper battle, but you eventually end up getting away and coming into what is the final scene of the game, where you meet this sage, this soothsayer, this shaman, and before you even really get into your lineage and your role in the story, Vader finds you, and this character is taken away, and here you have the final scene. What did you think about the final scene of this game?
It was crazy because Vader starts helping you, and he's your friend, fighting all these killer robots. I'm sorry, go ahead. But I talked about this earlier, I think. The fact that I was stuck in one spot fighting these robots, I didn't like that. And it kind of felt like I let them hit me to see what would happen, and they weren't killing me. So I was really disappointed with that. And I kind of felt like I was just like waggling. I was just like, killing them, because once I realized I couldn't die and there wasn't much, risk there.
Right.
I don't know.
See, I didn't try to let them kill me, and there really are a lot of them. What happens after Vader finds you? I think there were droids. Just tons of these droids keep dropping in with lightsabers from out of nowhere, and attacking you from all angles. And I didn't waggle. I didn't know I couldn't die, so I was defending. And it was a pretty basic pattern with all of them. They would either take 2 or 3 swipes at you, and you could block, counterattack, or block, counterattack. The only thing I found difficult about it is they were coming in from all directions. So you're fighting this guy over here, and literally somebody's hitting you from behind.
Yeah.
And this was constant through the whole thing. But as it widens down, Vader's helping you take out all of these enemies, and there's a ton of them. But at the end of it, Vader takes your lightsaber, destroys the last couple of them in impressive fashion, and basically offers up, tells you that he sees a latent force ability in you and offers you training, and that's it. Scene closed. What did you think about it from a story perspective, and where do you think it's going from here? Do you think we're going to be a bad guy in the next episode?
That would be cool. I hope so. I remember either watching or reading an interview where they said in the second episode, you're going to use your Jedi Force abilities. So you're probably going to make things hover and do stuff like that. And yeah, I guess that'd be really cool if you're walking along with Vader instead of some stupid robot. that, you know, like from the first one. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I think that if they don't just let you, you know, be uh, go to the dark side, at least for the next episode, they should give you a choice. Do you want to resist or do you want to submit? I think that would be a cool mechanic, but with the limited time constraints of these short episodes, they may not want to give that much variance to it.
Yeah.
But as we said earlier, I was very impressed. It very much felt like I was in a Star Wars movie, start to finish. A must own for any Quest owner, in my opinion. Is there anything else you'd like to say about it overall, this game?
No, 9.99. That's a must buy. Yeah, I would say if it were 20, I would question it more, but definitely.
Right. I could understand a higher price tag if it were longer. I think they're smart breaking it up, honestly, because I think a full length game of this magnitude and this quality is probably going to be worth $50. But you know, the VR crowd, they're not willing to throw that kind of scratch down for a game.
Yeah.
But if you break it up an hour at a time, they'll pay you $100 for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So definitely, I'm down for every episode of this as long as it maintains this quality. And yeah, that's it for the spoiler review of Vader Immortal Episode 1. So if you made it through this whole thing, again, as always, thank you. You guys are awesome. If you like what you see here, click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell. And we'll be back later in this week. There's going to be different reviews releasing all week. So keep an eye on our channel. Definitely click that notification bell because it's not going to just be Mondays anymore. There's going to be videos all week long. So keep an eye out for that. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.